Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Odd, and these are Karen's Oddities. We are at the final video for the home buying process slash my experience. This is the final step, right? Let's say you are at the point where you completed all of the steps in my previous videos about your home buying process, post-buying, post-closing. What do you do after you've closed on the property? How do you prepare for that? What is recommended? So I'm just gonna go through a couple of items, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this series. I really took time to outline what my experience was. I really took time to make sure that I talked on points that were super important and vital in my experience, and I think they can be super useful for those of you that are looking to purchase a home or looking to purchase a condo or townhouse or looking to move out for the very first time. I think my first video on this started with me discussing where I was living before I ended up closing on my home. So post-buying, and even, you know what, I would even argue prior to closing, because I should have done this, but I didn't. You want to make sure that you start downsizing. You don't need, I promise you don't need all the shit that you currently have. Okay. I have a lot of things, but I also got rid of a lot of stuff. And I also have a bunch of shit at my garage. I have shit at my parents' house. I donated shit. I have shit that I still want to like do yard sales for. I tried to sell shit online. I gave shit to my friends. Downsize. Start downsizing. Start separating. What do you want? What do you not want? Start listing things for sale. If you know that you're planning on moving this year, if you know you're planning on moving in the next 6 months, just start separating, start clearing through, start taking things to the donation box, whatever. Donate stuff, sell stuff, do all of that now, because when it's time for you to leave wherever the fuck you're living in right now, I promise you, you are not going to regret doing this, and you're not going to regret starting this early. You want to celebrate your win. That's the very first thing. Okay, you want to celebrate your win. So I closed on September 14th of 2022. I remember the appointment was scheduled. I requested the day off from work. I think I got the date was like, it's kind of short notice. Like you may get more notice than I did. My process was really quick. It was like a 7-day turnaround time. Usually it doesn't happen that quickly. Many people have told me it's usually not that quickly. But after that, my mom came with me, of course, because she's like my guru financial advisor person. And she works in finance, so it was nice to have her there as well. And just to have her for support. But we had the closing. I think it was in the morning. I went to the closing. We signed off on the paperwork. We had to take in some documents to the city to register them, to register that I was the owner, to register that was my primary property. And we had to submit that. So we did that. And then I think we decided to go before that, we took pictures with my agent in the real estate office. And we went to the house and, we looked at it. I showed it to my mom because she hadn't seen it before this, but she trusts my opinion. Like I've been looking, she knows I'm a very thorough person. I took pictures in front of the home, like the little cheesy pictures with like holding the key and stuff. I took some of those. They were super cute. And I think we had lunch, and, you have to celebrate your win, right? I know that once you close on your home, it's a big deal. You want to get ready. You want to get into action, moving, getting settled, doing all the things you need to do to get into your space. But you have to take a moment to appreciate the moment, appreciate the accomplishment. There are a lot of people that live their entire lives and they never become homeowners. They're always renting. There are people that never get a chance to live alone, that never know what that's like, right? Or always live with their family or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that if it's a goal of yours to live on your own, or it's a goal of yours to move out, or a goal of yours to become a homeowner, I think that it's important to acknowledge your efforts and acknowledge those accomplishments when you reach them. The next thing that I did, and that I would recommend people do, is you want to clean the property. In some cases, properties are going to be more deteriorated, more dirty than others. In my case, the one thing that turned me off about this home, it smelled like fucking cigarette. Okay, I'm gonna lift my leg on this. I thought I was gonna be on the camera. I like stretching, so like I like lifting my leg and putting it on the bar because it helps me stretch my body and my limbs. It smelled like cigarette, really fucking bad. And I was like, for a minute, I was having like second thoughts. Like I consulted a lot of people in the cleaning industry, people in the construction industry. I'm like, this house smells like fucking cigarette. Like, I don't know what to do. My house has 90% carpet, which is another thing where I'm like, my carpet is new, but it's like, I'm ripping that bitch up and putting new flooring. It's just not a priority right now because there's something like, if it's not broken, why fix it? It smelled like smoke. And I was like, fuck, like I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke anything. Right. So I didn't want to live in a place that smelled like that. I didn't want to invite people over and that's what they smell. So I'm like, fuck, like I started doing all this research. Like I'm on Reddit. I'm looking at what the fuck do I need to do to get the scent out. I'm cussing quite a bit, right? So the next thing I cleaned that fucking property. I cleaned it down. I cleaned it with vinegar. I cleaned it with Clorox. I sprayed down every single window. I sprayed down every single vent. I wiped down the walls. I wiped down the fireplace. I hired a air duct cleaner. So there are companies that can come out and they can clean your air vents. They will get out any old dust that's in there, any dead skin cells, and it can kind of help with scent as well. They can put like aroma or like scent chemicals in there. I didn't do that because I thought that was weird and I didn't want to be inhaling all these chemicals or my dog to inhale that either. But I did get my vents clean, and he said these vents have never been clean and they had a bunch of debris in it and dust. And that's also something that can help if the home does smell like cigarette. I used like baking soda. I put that all over the carpet just in case the carpet had absorbed the scent of the cigarettes. I put buckets of vinegar all over the house. I opened the windows to let it ventilate. There are many different things that you can do. I'm speaking about how I clean the home because of my specific situation. I'm not saying you'll have to do all of this. You may have to do more than this. There may be trash inside the home. There may be dog shit. I don't know. It depends on the condition that the home is in when you buy it. In my case, that was my focus. I wanted to focus on 1, cleaning it because I'm moving into it. 2, cleaning it because I was trying to address the cigarette smoke. So you want to clean the property. Clean it from the outside, clean it from the inside. You may also want to spiritually clean the property. I know not everyone believes in this, but for those of you that do, you can listen to this part. If you don't like this part, you can fast forward a couple of seconds or minutes. I did that regular cleaning, like physical, like literally cleaning for sanitization purposes. And then my first night, I remember, and I want to back up to when I said celebrate your win. So there's celebrate the win, there's cleaning the property. I had so much anxiety, you guys, when I closed on my home, and I'm like getting I'm getting like chills right now just thinking about it. I had so much anxiety when I closed on my home. It was a combination of I'm doing this big fucking thing. Like this is the big fucking deal. It was, for me, it was anxiety about this is a big fucking deal. It was anxiety about, am I making the right decision? Other people telling me this is not the time to buy. This is not the time to move forward. You're going to regret it. The market's going to crash. Like all this shit. I mean, some of it is real, right? But at the end of it, it was coming in through one ear, keep going out the other. It was just shit. Like I don't need to hear negativity. I need positivity. I need facts. I need information. I need realism. That's what I need. I don't need bullshit or people prophesizing what they think is going to happen. That's a tangent, whatever. There was just a lot of that. There was a lot going on. I was stressed out, money, all of these things that you have to think about, these repairs, like, are you making the right decision? I'm moving away from home. I have to fucking pack up my whole apartment, move here. It's a change. It's a change. It's a change of environment, change of pace. You have to get adjusted to your neighbors. It's a lot. So when I say celebrate your wins, I'm saying take a moment, take a fucking breather after you close. Don't do like me, where it's like, I did not take a breather. Yes, I had lunch with my mom, but it's like, beyond that, I was on go mode. I didn't stop working. I didn't take time off of work. I took the day off to close on my home, but I did not take time off beyond that. I moved while working 40 plus hours a week of a stressful ass job. And there was a point where I had a breakdown. Like I had my friend, he was over, he was helping me with some things, and I had a breakdown. You know what I mean? And I was moving into a home. I moved into a home that was ready to go. Like there was nothing that needed to be done to it. I could have left the windows as is. I could have left the water heater as is till it went out. It was perfectly fine. But I can't imagine if you're moving into a home that needs a lot of work and you don't take that time to like just sit in your accomplishment and appreciate that and take time to get proper rest, take time off from work so that you can actually properly plan accordingly to move, to transition, and to not overwhelm or stress yourself. Like you're going to have a breakdown. I'm telling you now. Maybe it was just me because I'm extra as fuck and because my anxiety was just out of whack. But I had my breakdown. And I remember I think it was the first night, you guys. And mind you, I've lived alone for, 5, 6 years now? I lived in an apartment, of course, but now it was a home. I lived in like an upper flat. I talk about this in one of my first videos when I talk about this process. But now I was living on a ranch, so it's like the first floor. And I had so much anxiety. And my neighborhood is 10 times safer than the previous neighborhood I lived in. Police response is so much better, all these good things. I was just so nervous. I was not at ease. I was just so nervous and anxious. My very first night, like I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack. My heart was racing. Like I talked to my mom. I was crying on the phone with her and she was like really worried about me. She's like, you just need to get some rest. And probably there was that too, right? Mix that in, not eating, not sleeping, not drinking enough water, not getting enough rest. Plus you have anxiety, plus you just moved, plus you just made this big transition. It was just a lot going on. So that night though, I couldn't get myself to rest. Like I got off the phone with mom, like I made her think that I was okay, but I still wasn't okay. So I decided, you know what? I had gone to this, spiritual healer because I believe in that stuff. And he had given me some incense that was like for clearing my space when I had some other situation going on. So you know what? I took the incense and I did just as I said, it was blessed incense. I took it in every single room. I started from my entrance and I just started like clearing the space with every single corner of the space. Because at the end of the day, energy, we cannot see it, but we can feel it. It's everywhere. It gets transmuted from people, it gets transmuted to things, to spaces. It stays stagnant in corners and spaces, and you need to clear it, right? If it's a new thing for you, you want to clear it, whatever it is. And it made me feel 10 times better. I promise you, when I finished doing it, I felt at peace. I was able to get some rest that night. And from that day forward, like I felt so much better about my space. So if you believe in that, or if you're into that, I do recommend you do some type of cleanse of the space, because you don't know what type of BS was happening in that house before you got there. You don't know what type of energy still remains in that space, and you just want to clear that space. Determine your moving plan. That was stressful for me. Determine your moving plan. So as I mentioned, I lived in an upper fucking loft that had like 50,000 stairs on the inside and 50,000 stairs on the outside. And I had a bunch of fucking shit because I'm a goddamn hoarder. So I didn't really have a plan. I thought about, I'm going to pay movers. Movers are expensive. I didn't really budget for that. And then my mom was like, well, she said my brother could help me and his friend. I have 2 brothers, but my older brother and his friend and my little brother. So I was like, okay, whatever. They'll help me. I pay them. That was my plan. But I waited a long time to pack my shit, to downsize. So it was a little bit stressful moving, especially because I'm in an attic. It's fucking summer. It's hot as fuck. I got fucking furniture up in that bitch that I could barely squeeze in there. And then I have to take it out of that bitch, take it down the stairs, load it in a car. I have a tiny ass fucking car. Okay. But we managed. But have a plan before. Have a plan for your move. Have a plan with who's going to help you move. Have a plan for packing. Buy the boxes. Downsize ahead of time. It's going to make your life easier. Once you move into your property, I'm going to put my leg down because I think I've extended it enough. You want to transfer utilities. So if you have utilities under your name currently in your apartment or wherever you're living, you want to get those transferred to the new place that you're living. If you don't have any transfer like me, I wasn't paying utilities in my previous apartment. They were included in my rent. You want to make sure that you open those accounts. You want to make sure that you open those accounts timely. So that when you move up in that bitch, you have light, you have water, you have electricity, you have all the things you need. You have gas, etc. If you need the heat, you need the gas. So call your utility companies, set up your accounts, see what you need to do to set up those accounts, and get those accounts set up and set them up in time. Internet, set up your internet. These days you need internet for just about fucking anything. You need internet for if you have a ring light camera, if you have an alarm system, if you want to use your Netflix accounts, your smart TVs, your phones. You need internet for just about anything. Set up the internet, okay? Another thing that people recommend is you want to change your locks, right? You don't know who lived there previously. You don't know if those locks were ever changed. They may have a key. They can come back and just open the door with whatever key they have. So they do recommend changing your locks. I personally, maybe this is bad. Let me knock on wood. Hope nothing ever happens. Really? He just stole one of his socks. I did not change my locks. I didn't change my locks because my home was a flip. So all of my locks are new. All of my doors are new. I have like 45 different keys to these doors. Still, they left them for me here. The people that had the home that fixed it before I moved here, they were not the people that lived here. They just owned it and they fixed it and flipped it. So I was never worried about them coming back and taking my shit. That's my first reason why I didn't do it. Second reason I didn't do it, I don't really have shit of value. I really don't. I have, 3 TVs. I have a big ass TV in the basement that would be very hard for one person to steal. My TV upstairs is not that big, but the one in the basement is really big. I have, one fucking high-end purse. Jewelry, I don't really have much. I have my old engagement ring, which is like hidden away that I don't think anyone gives a fuck about. And I have my work computer, my cell phone that's always with me, my car. Like, I don't really have things that I was worried about people taking. Obviously, I don't want people breaking into my home, but it's like, I knew that I'm like, okay, if you come in here, what are you gonna take? Clothes? Heels? Like, I don't have anything for you. And whatever I have, you're not gonna find anyway. And my TV, you can't even fucking take it because it's too heavy. And the third reason was I had an alarm system. So I set up my alarm system. That was one of the very first things that I set up. And I knew I was going to have that bitch on 24/7. So it's like, you want to break in here? Okay. You may have the key, but honey, that alarm's going to go off. And when that bitch goes off, the cops are going to pull up. So I really wasn't worried. And I know some people were like, you should change your locks. You should change them. I didn't change them. If you want to change them, change your locks. If it makes you feel better, change your locks. Especially if you're not going to get an alarm system, especially if you have a lot of valuables, all of those other reasons that I explained that may not apply to you, change your locks. You want to update your address. Update your address. If you live in the United States, U.S. Postal Service, you go, there's a simple form you fill out that has your previous address, and all of the mail that is assigned to your name will be forwarded to your new address. They'll update your address in the system. All of your new mail will go to that new address. You want to do that. You want to update that for any of your credit card bills or any of your places where you receive bills. You want to make sure that you update the information there so that that issuer or service provider has your proper address. I mentioned security alarm. I highly encourage security alarms. Maybe they're not really used in many places. I use them. My family uses them. Our old house, well, my parents' house where I used to live, that bitch got broken into multiple fucking times. My apartment never got broken into. I don't know. I'm knocking on wood. I don't live there anymore. Thank God I never got broken into. But security alarms are great. They deter burglars. They give me a sense of safety, especially if you live by yourself. I feel more comfortable having it. I set it at night. I set it when I leave. Of course, I have dogs that help alert me, but dogs can only do so much, right? So I have security alarm system. Internet, I had that transferred over. Gas, electricity, water. In some cases, you have to call to turn on the water. In some cases, it's going to be included in your closing, and they're going to do what they call an escrow account. That's going to have like essentially the water usage estimate. And then from there, you'll start getting the bills in the mail. Have moving help. Have someone help you move and have a plan on who's going to help you move, because moving can be extremely stressful. Like I said, I was super stressed between the move, getting settled, closing, work, everything I had going on, and just questioning myself, questioning my decisions, listening to all the BS, everything that was on the news that people were saying. And I'm just like, so far, let me knock on wood, right? I've been here 6 months. Everything's been great. Thank God that everything is still going great. I'm still able to cover my expenses. Nothing really has changed. I pray every morning. Like I demonstrate my gratitude, and I say how appreciative I am for finding this home, appreciative for all of the things that led me to this place. And, I ask God to continue to bless me in the way that he has, and all these things. I'm not going to get into this prayer spiel with you guys, but I'm just saying, like, what are you doing? Quit it. What else? Yeah, so it's going to be stressful, but if you have a plan, it would be a little bit less stressful. Unpack. So first it's like packing all your fucking shit, getting it into your space, and then it's the unpack, which honestly, unpacking was funner than packing. Because unpacking, it's like this huge canvas, right? And you're like, you decide where you're going to fill things, where you're going to put things. I'll show you guys this. This has nothing to do with unpacking. Look at this though. This is a beautiful painting that I received as a gift. Probably cannot hang this without looking. And you know, you have to decide, where do you want to mount things? Where do you want to put things? How do you want to arrange stuff? How do you want to decorate? It's a super fun thing to do, right? So unpacking was super fun for me. What are you doing, buddy? You want to clean. Once you get done unpacking, you want to clean. You want to get organized. You want to get your stuff situated. The sooner you get to do that, the more you're going to be able to enjoy your space. The sooner you're going to be able to enjoy your space, it's going to reduce your stress. You're going to feel a lot more better. You return to your regular routine. Work will feel easier. Everything will feel easier once you get settled. If you live in clutter, your mind will be cluttered. You won't be able to focus. So you really want to make that a priority. You can do it every day after work. Do a little bit of time. You can do it on the weekends. You can have someone come and help you. You can take time off from work. If you can afford to do that, you can take time off from work. My work is super busy. I couldn't do that. I mean, I could, but I felt like I couldn't. So I did not do that. And I just did it in between, like, me not working nights and weekends. You don't have to have anyone over your house until you feel like it, right? Like, for a while, I was like, because I was in this, when I entered in, like, my spiritual journey, and I decided, why did I do this? It was a spiritual journey. When I entered into my spiritual journey / healing, I was going through a lot of different things, right? There were failed friendships, failed relationships. I got off of social media. I had gave up sex, alcohol, fast food. I was working on my fitness, my mental health. I was praying. I was meditating. I was listening to things that were conducive for my mind. I was cutting out toxic shit and toxic behaviors. I was less tolerant to different attitudes and opinions. I was focused on my goals. I was writing more. I was doing all these fucking things, right? And I say all that to say, for a minute, I said, you know what? I don't ever want to have a housewarming party. I just wanted to live under the radar for a while. I didn't want anyone to know where I live. I just wanted my family. I didn't want any guys that I was dating or messing with. I didn't want them to know where I live. I didn't want my friends to know where I live. I just wanted to live under the radar. I wanted to do my own thing. I was kind of in like a solo dolo mode, which is not a bad thing, but that's how I was. So this note just says, you don't have to have anyone over, either ever or until you fucking feel like it. If you don't want to have a housewarming till you're in, I know there are like some rules that say like you have to have a housewarming, I think within the first like year or year and a half. That's not true. You have the housewarming whenever you fucking feel like it. And if you don't want to have a housewarming, you don't have to. I had my housewarming, I had a couple months ago. I mean, I've been here 6 months, but I had, I think 3 months in. That's when because at first I wasn't going to have one, but I was like, you know what? Let me have one. And it was a nice time. You know, it's nice to have people that you care about and people that care about you celebrate your win and be happy for you and be able to host them and show them your space and have conversations about home ownership and silly things like that. Like, it was a good time. So until you feel like it, don't feel like you have to invite people over. If you have repairs or changes, create a list. I talked about this already in my last video. You want to create that Excel list just with everything, right? Because things are so overwhelming for me. It helps to have a plan. It helps to have a list. It helps to prioritize. Cash, come here. So you want to make sure that you prioritize those lists and you prioritize those repairs. You create a list. You list the costs associated and you prioritize based on your finances, what you need to address, what is more of a priority, what's going to affect you more greatly. You want to make sure that you get a chance to do that. If you have home items that you need, such as, I'm looking at my basement. I want a coffee table for my basement. Like, I have a small coffee table, but it's a big open space, so I want a larger coffee table, right? You have a coffee table. I need to get a door for my fireplace upstairs. Just different things like that, right? If you have things that you need and you decide to have a housewarming party, you can include those things in you can create a wish list for your housewarming party and you can share that with the people that you invite and then they can purchase you things from that list. Obviously, people aren't obligated to buy you something for your housewarming, but if you do decide to have a housewarming, it doesn't hurt to create a list so that people know what type of things you need or what type of things you're still looking for. The things that you need to purchase, you don't have to buy it all at once. Buy the things that are a priority to you. Buy the things that are a priority to you. And the things that can wait, they can just wait. You'll get them gradually. I still have a list of things that I want to buy for my house. Not things that I need though, right? Like that coffee table. I don't really need one. Do I want one? Yeah. Am I going to get one? Absolutely. What else is on that list? I need a dresser. I do need that because I have one room that's like a closet, but it's not a priority right now. Like my clothes are hung up, like I have a space for them. My shower upstairs, I have a shower curtain, but it's like a stand-in shower. So I do want to get a shower door. That is a priority, but it's not like a huge priority because my shower curtain works fine. Just things like that. Decide what's a priority for you, what you want to get done immediately, and what you're okay waiting on. And the last bit is you want to enjoy your home. Your home should be your safe haven. Your home should be your safe space. You should feel at peace there. You should feel relaxed. Create a space where you feel relaxed. Create a space where you feel at peace, where you feel safe, where you feel at home, where you feel like there is no other place like it. That's really important, especially, you know, we work so hard to live in these spaces that we love, to create these spaces, to design them, to decorate them the way we want them. Create something that you enjoy, but more importantly, you want to protect it, right? All the people that enter